Hey, Mama, won't you come down? Hey, Mama, won't you come down to the river to wade, to bathe? Hey, Mama, won't you come down? Hey, Mama, won't you come down to the river to wade, to bathe? Oh, wash my hair like you wash my hair for years and years. I'm gone away. Oh, wash my hair like you wash my hair for years and years. I'm gone away. There's a man I know, I think he loves me so. Finally, I'm gone away. So, Mama, won't you come down? Hey, Mama, won't you come down to the river to wade, to bathe?
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Silver Spring. My name is Laura Ellis, and I am this morning's worship associate, and I'm also giving the homily, and my pronouns are she and her. From many cultures and sexualities, genders and beliefs, we come together into one congregation. If you're visiting with us today, we are so glad that you are here. If you'd like to learn more about our free faith or how to join this congregation, we have Linda at the back as the welcoming captain, and she would be happy to connect with you. Today's flowers were donated by me in memory of my mother, Sandra Wagner Ellis. If you would like to donate flowers for an upcoming Sunday service, just visit Church Center and fill out the flower registration form. In just a moment, we will be invited to greet our neighbors. I invite those on Zoom to say hello in the chat and those here in body to greet one another around the sanctuary. Please head back to your seat and stay standing when the music starts for our opening hymn.
room for mine on these branches free. And the sky above the tree, whether wet or bright, is my ease and comforting, my good news and light. Okay, all right.
Now it's time to light our chalice, symbol of our free faith. May this light warm our hearts with love and caring and guide us in the ways of truth.
Nice, robust good morning. My name's Deborah Bonsack, and I am going to do the wisdom story today. Put a couple of my mints down there in case I start to have throat issues. Okay, today's wisdom story is... Mike, can you hear me? Okay. Today's wisdom story is Stitch by Stitch, Cleve Jones and the AIDS Memorial Quilt. And so we'll be talking about the quilt. Piece by piece, stitch by stitch, that's how a quilt is made. Before Cleve Jones was born, his great-grandmother sewed a quilt for him, cutting and pinning together fabric scraps, stitching the pieces together. The quilt welcomed Cleve home as a newborn on October 11th, 1954. Cleve napped with his quilt. He felt it tuck around him when he was sick, and the quilt warmed him like the love that stitched it together. Yes. One by one, person by person, that's how friendships are made. Oh, wait a minute, I think I skipped a page. Sorry. As Cleve grew older, it wasn't easy for him. Even the warmth of a quilt couldn't help when he was bullied. Then things went from bad to worse. When he was 18, Cleve told his parents he was gay. They didn't approve. And as soon as he could, Cleve left home. He heard of a place where there might be others like him, a place where he might fit in. San Francisco, California. One by one, person by person, that's how friendships are made. Cleve soon had a patchwork of friends. They were alike and different. The friends were held together by a common thread. They were people on the fringes of the outside, often without family, searching for acceptance. Sticky pages. Action by action, voice by voice, that's how a movement is made. Cleve worked for Harvey Milk. Anybody hear of Harvey Milk? Okay. Harvey was an openly gay politician, a leader in San Francisco, a mentor for Cleve. Cleve was there when Harvey was elected to office in 1977. Members of the LGBTQ community were being treated unfairly. They weren't given the same rights as others. Harvey, Cleve, and others in the community decided something had to be done. Cleve went to college and started working for equal rights. Little by little, things were changing. See those protest signs? Look familiar? Okay. Then came the day when Harvey Milk and Mayor George Moscone were assassinated. Cleve and his friends were angry, sad, hurt. Their feelings came rumbling out onto the streets. Anger and hatred towards the community began to grow. Progress unraveled right before their eyes. Then things went from bad to worse. Sorry, guys, these pages are not. Okay. Healthy young gay men began to be diagnosed with unusual symptoms. Their illnesses grew worse and worse. Most never got better. Many died. Pieces of the quilt of friendship were lost forever. From the illness spread from one city to another, from state to state, from country to country. The disease became an epidemic. Finally, it was given a name: acquired immunodeficiency syndrome, or AIDS. Most people didn't seem to care that there were others dying, even some doctors, even the United States government. Many people looked down on those with AIDS. Some said they deserved it. But AIDS continued to spread to every community and throughout the world. Out of the blue, unexpectedly, that's how an idea begins. On November 27, 1985, Cleve Jones led a candlelight march to remember Harvey Milk and Mayor Moscone. Cleve and his friends, Joseph Durant, handed out cardboard and markers. "Write down the names of someone you know who died of AIDS," Cleve called. Some people in the crowd wrote initials. Some wrote only a first name. Some wrote nothing. Then a man took 2 pieces of cardboard, taped them together, and wrote his brother's full name in large letters. Some others wrote the names of their friends, their family members who had died because of AIDS. One by one, the names were taped to the wall of the Federal Building. It's the Federal Building in San Francisco. Through rain, Cleve looked at the names pieced together on the wall. Suddenly, he had an idea. He would create a symbol, a memorial, a quilt. It took a year and a half for the idea to become a reality. With spray paint and fabric, Cleve and Joseph created the first 2 quilt panels. Others made panels too. Gert McMullen volunteered to sew the panels together. News of the quilt began to spread. Family members and friends began to cut and pin together fabric scraps. They stitched the pieces together, creating 3-foot by 6-foot quilt panels. That year, during the Lesbian and Gay Pride Parade, 40 panels were displayed at City Hall in San Francisco. It was a way to remember, a way to heal, a way to show love, a way to do something when it seemed nothing could be done. There's Gert. She's still around. Slowly, over time, one step at a time, that's how change is made. On October 11th, 1987, Cleve's birthday, squares of stitched-together panels were unfolded and placed on the lawn of the National Mall in Washington, D.C. The ground was quilted with names. Each was read aloud. The AIDS Memorial Quilt toured towns and cities. Then things changed again. People began to discuss AIDS. People with AIDS began to receive help. Money poured in for research. Doctors began to find treatments, and the government began to take action. Message by memory by memory, panel by panel, that's how a memorial quilt was made. Today, the panels on the quilt represent 100,000 names, 100,000 individuals, 100,000 people who will be remembered forever. Cleve called it a monument sewn of fabric and thread. Piece by piece, one by one, action by action, out of the blue, over time, memory by memory. Cleve Jones still has the quilt his great-grandmother made, the quilt he napped with and that tucked around him when he was sick. It warms him to this day like the love that stitched it together. Cleve's first quilt inspired others, one with names, a quilt that remembers, a quilt that made a difference. That's how a monument was sewn of fabric and thread. And that's today's wisdom story. Thank you.
Where will you go, my darling daughter? I'm gonna live down by the water. If I ever could find the time, never no reason or rhyme. I'm gonna live down by the water. I'm gonna send a dozen roses down the river like baby Moses, and I'll wash my tears away when I'm down in the river today. Gonna send a dozen roses. Who will be your one and only? When the days are lost and lonely, and the little blue birds of spring go on down to the river to sing. Who will hear their testimony? Their testimony. Sing a little song, darling. Sing it like a little blue starling. In the country or the town, and for miles all around. Sing a little song, darling. Now the days are getting harder. I'm gonna live down by the water. If I ever could find the time, never no reason or rhyme. I'm gonna live down by the water. Down by the water. I'm gonna down by the water. Gonna live down by the water. I'm gonna live down by the water.
Now is the time for us as a community to lift up joys and sorrows, our own and those of the world around us. Don't forget to make a note of the people whose joys and sorrows touch your heart so you can reach out to them this week. If you have a joy or sorrow to share, you can either type it in the chat on Zoom or share it in the microphones here up front. And after each person has shared, we will say together, "In every joy and sorrow, we are held in love beyond belief." I invite you now into a time of personal meditation, centering, and prayer, while we also cherish the sound of babies and toddlers among us, the sounds of new life in our midst. If you have suffered a deep loss in the last year, or if this is a time of year that marks the anniversary of a significant loss in your life, I invite you to stand or raise your hand during the silence to honor your grief. Now, as we hold the quiet together, may it hold us, each and all. And here is today's prayer. To live in this world, you must be able to do three things: to love what is mortal, to hold it against your bones, knowing your own life depends on it, and when the time comes, to let it go, to let it go. Children of all ages are always welcome here in the sanctuary, but most Sundays, kids are invited to learn together with others their age. If you're an RE teacher or kid ages 3 and up and you'd like to go do activities with others now, please join me here up front. The learning and growing our children do is an expansion of our worship in this spirit. Let's sing May I Be Empty as they carry the flame of our chalice with them out to their classroom.
I be empty and open to receive the light. May I be empty and open to receive. May I be full and open to receive the light. May I be full and open to receive. May I be empty and open to receive the light. May I be empty and open to receive. May I be full and open to receive the light. May I be full and open to receive.
So Stitch by Stitch did double duty today as the wisdom story and our reading. This is from my mom, Sandra Wagner Ellis, which she would be very embarrassed to hear me say. Actually, she would be embarrassed about everything I'll say about her, so let's say this is to remember my mom. Sandra was a lover and creator of beauty all the time I knew her. Art, crafts, the fine arts, dance, theater, music, jewelry, china, poetry, and particularly gardens. So when Reverend Kristen told us about the theme for this summer, I thought of how I remember my mother, and I thought about how people in the recent past have created beautiful art to remember people they have lost, like the AIDS quilt and our quilts that hang here in the sanctuary. And then I realized I was thinking of things that were created over 30 years ago and realized, Laura, that's not the recent past, that's history. Well, if you were born in 1960, 1940s, and 50s were definitely recent history. So the 1980s and the early 1990s were a very challenging time to be queer. Gay and bisexual men carried the stigma of AIDS, then known as the gay disease, and walked with the shadow of death. People were scared of catching this disease with a high mortality rate and no known cure. Those who were diagnosed with AIDS were often treated as pariahs, sometimes by loved ones as well as by acquaintances and strangers, and much of the general public, were seen as sinful and blamed for catching the disease that was killing them and their loved ones. So when Cleve Van Jones created the first quilt panel for his friend Marvin, and the Names Project was founded to support the making of a memorial quilt, it was a transgressive act. To take this quintessentially American art form, the quilt, of hearth and home and family, created by grandmothers and mothers and aunts, and use it to make a memorial for people many considered outcasts and pariahs. And it was a reclaiming to make a beautiful panel in memory of a person who had died of AIDS, to declare that this was a person who loved and was loved, missed and mourned. As people heard about it, the quilt grew like wildflower as panels were sent to the Names Project, at first from large cities across the country and gradually from all across the country and around the world. The quilt now has more than 50,000 panels commemorating more than 110,000 people. We, many of us, have our own ties to the quilt, and we are also connected as a congregation. And I want to stop here and say I am sorry that I do not know and cannot hold up the names of other members, friends, and family of UUCSS members who are also part of the quilt. One member I knew, Kevin Drury, has a panel on the quilt, and this is his. Kevin and I joined UUCSS around the same time, shortly before the turn of this century, as 20, 30-something adults. I remember him telling me that he knew, as soon as he walked into the sanctuary, that UUCSS was his home, because of the memorial quilts and the deep bond that he felt because of the AIDS quilt. The blue quilts were the original 3 memorial quilts created as this sanctuary was being built in the 1990s. The project was spearheaded by member Daisy Grubbs, a brilliant designer and artist who designed not only these quilts, but also the layout of the gardens, and worked by many talented quilters who were and are members of UUCSS. The Flaming Chalice is the first quilt dedicated to members who died before 1986. The women working on these quilts sent out a call to current and former members, often living in distant states, to track down the names of those who had died. Many of these names on the flaming quilt were embroidered by family members or loved ones on strips of cloth, some of which had to be mailed to UUCSS from around the country, and then worked into the quilt. This quilt memorializes not only the names of those who are on the quilt, but also those from that period who are missing due to incomplete records. The quotation on this quilt is from Pete Seeger, and we have a letter in this binder from Pete Seeger thanking us for the picture of the quilt. The second blue quilt commemorates members who died between 1986 and 1996. It has a sea theme because a longtime member who died during that time, Captain John Coffin. I love the beauty of this quilt with the reflections of the boats shining on the water. The globe quilt is the one I consider the most heartbreaking. It commemorates members' children who have died. Some of the quilters, including Daisy, quilted the names of their own children. Charles Allen Houstruck was Daisy's son, and Debbie and Dwight Grubbs were, I think, her stepchildren. The quote on this quilt is from the book of Samuel in the Old Testament Bible, which Daisy found on a child's tomb in Westminster Abbey. I shall go to him, but he shall not return to me. This is the only blue quilt designed to go beyond 1996. We continue to add names of members' children, whether children or adults, who have died. Daisy told the story of how people asked her to save a place for them on the sea quilt, which is what made her decide that she needed to design a second series of quilts. The gold quilts are designed to remember members who have died in 1997 or later. The tree pictured in the summer quilt is the one we see out the quilt loft windows, which was planted by our first minister, Reverend David McPherson, whose name was recently embroidered on the summer quilt. Each gold quilt is designed as a window looking out onto a different view of the UUCSS grounds in a different season. Each of the quilts has a proverb from a different Native American tribe, properly attributed. The quilts were hanging as we see them now when I first walked into the sanctuary in 1998, when people still referred to it as the new building. At that time, there were only a few names on a couple of the quilts, but over the last 28 years, we have steadily added more. Whenever possible, names are embroidered on the quilt by family members or friends with the help of UUCSS quilters. And if you quilt or sew or would like to learn, if you would like to join the League of UUCSS quilters whose number is steadily dwindling, please reach out to me or Joe Paoletti. Embroider. But yeah. And if you would like to learn more about the quilts and some of the people whose names are on them, we have a binder for each quilt over on the cabinet, although they remain incomplete. And Kevin Drury's name is on the spring quilt. As I said, my parents came with me to a Christmas Eve service one year. My mom was immediately drawn to the memorial quilts, and she spent some time after the service looking at them. As I said at the beginning, my mom was a lover, collector, and creator of beauty. Gardening was her passion, and she designed beautiful gardens for the 2 houses she and my father owned. Each of the homes that they shared, she made a beautiful, warm, and welcoming space. My mother died in February 2022, less than 2 months after she was diagnosed with cancer. I was privileged to be able to spend most of that time with her and my dad. When she died, I did not experience grief or sadness or pain in the depth or the way that I expected or wanted, that my love for her and hers for me deserved. And hearing from well-meaning friends that we each grieve in our own way or experience grief differently was no comfort. I wanted a way to keep her close to me every day. One of the things my mother loved was jewelry, and she and I shared a love of silver jewelry, although I rarely wore anything other than earrings. I have about a dozen of my mother's rings, ones that I remember her wearing often. About 2 years ago, I opened the box in which I keep my mother's rings, and I decided to wear two, one on each hand. Nearly every morning, occasionally in a rush I forget because I'm human, I choose 2 rings to wear. And one of the rings I'm wearing today is the one she is wearing in the photo that you see or saw. Whenever I look at my hand, whenever I fiddle with one of my rings, whenever the ring chimes against another metal, I think of her. When I look at my hands and don't see her rings because I forgot to put them on, I trace the fingers where they would be and think of her. I carry her with me every day on my hands and in my heart. Unlike the quilts, I had no part in making of my talisman for my mother, but like the quilts, the rings are for me both a public and a private memorial for my mother, who loved me and who I loved so very much. I invite you now into our weekly practice of generosity. Everything this congregation is and does is possible because we share our gifts here, including our financial gifts. As you can see on the screen or the back of your order of service, there are a couple ways you can make your gift to UUCSS today. However you choose to give, I hope you will join me in giving generously. And as we practice generosity together and keep the dream of a better world alive, may our hearts, our compassion, our hope, and our faith widen and grow. Now, please join me dedicating all of our gifts to the mission of this congregation, to create joyful spiritual community where we connect deeply, serve, and mobilize for our collective liberation. Sunday volunteers will now pass the plates as the offering is given and received.
Bright morning stars are rising. Bright morning stars are rising. Bright morning stars are rising. Day is a breaking in my soul. Oh, where are our dear fathers? Oh, where are our dear fathers? They are down in the valley a-praying. Day is a-breaking in my soul. Oh, where are our dear mothers? Oh, where are our dear mothers? They are gone to heaven a-shouting. Day is a-breaking in my breaking in my soul. Bright morning stars are rising. Bright morning stars are rising. Bright morning stars are rising. Days are breaking in my soul.
Please arise, embody your spirit, and join us in this closing hymn. We need all your help with all these words, folks.
Hold on to what it is good, even if it is a handful of earth. Hold on to what you believe, even if it is a tree which stands by itself. Hold on to what you must do, even if it is a long way from here. Hold on to my hand, even when I have gone away from you. Now, please join me in the words of Chalice Extinguishing. Carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again.
Our musical benediction this morning is a piece by the late Glenn Hansard. Glenn was an Irish musician, an actor, an activist in his own right, but a lover of people and people making beauty together. So, in the spirit of Glenn, I'd like to invoke his spirit in this space a little bit and invite you all to be a part of our fuzzy percussion this morning. So I'm going to set a tempo, and then I'm going to ask you all to just pat. One, two, one, two, three, four.
So lay